questions. Thank you everybody who's been submitting questions on curiouscat.me, and also thank you for submitting them here. So let's go down to the bottom of this. There you go. And in fact, I'm going to answer this question first from BT on the Twitch chat right here. He says, so Grax, what do you think of the lineup for Series 9 of Taskmaster? I have no opinions on it at all because I don't watch Taskmaster. I think it's the one if the one I'm thinking of is the show on Dave with Alex Horn and what's that guy's name? Greg Davis, that's the guy's name. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have an opinion on that. So I'm guessing it's okay. But wait, really? It's been going on for Series 9? Hold on a second. Let me just double check that. Because I feel like it hasn't been going on for that long. It's almost like on Series 4 or 5. But wow, I've really been far away from the pulse. Katie Wicks, Rose Matafeo, Ed Gamble, Joe Brand, and David Baddiel. If you don't have an opinion, I'll assume you hate women and Jews and Ed Gamble. I think that's a perfectly okay lineup for a show where people... You know what? PDT, I think this is a good question to throw back to you. What actually happens on Taskmaster? What is the point of the show? Sell it to me. Why should I be watching Taskmaster? Taskmaster. God, I'm really struggling with all the words right here. And you can also try and sell it to everybody else. And you're not just selling it to people on Twitch, you're selling it to people on YouTube, because I'll relay the message from your texts to my mouth, to the microphone, to the rest of the world. And remember, this is going out to 4 different streams. And I do not hate Jews and women and Ed Gamble. Yeah. Oh, okay. Keeping it nice and hands washing type of thing because everybody else has watched the show. Well, I haven't watched the show. Lastly, nobody else. Well, actually, that's a bit of a lie. I've seen clips of the show where it seems to be like different competitions, different tasks are set by Alex and Greg to comedians to try and do some stuff. What was the last one I saw? The last episode was, or the last clip I saw is when they were trying to throw tea bags into a cup from a distance. I think that was one of the games. Yes, I have answered all of the questions from PDT from January yet. It's all completely clear. And the thing is... I am going on to Curious Cat right now, and this is the first question from Anon asked on the 9th of June. That person says, why do you love chocolate so much? Because, my friends, the reason why I like chocolate so much is it tastes so good. I love the sensation of the sugar combined with the cocoa, how you pronounce it, on my tongue. And the thing is, I've really gotten into dark chocolate over the years in my maturity, and it's like, oh, it just tastes so good with the crunch. And it's something I've always liked. It's better than sugar, it's better than gummy sweets, it's better than fruits. These things are just better. That's why I like chocolate so much. If I could just eat chocolate all the day long, it wouldn't be good for my waistline or my face, but that's what I can do. So, PDT says, Taskmaster. It's 5 comedians or comedy types competing with each other in ridiculous tasks across a whole series. There you go. That is the series right there. So if you happen to be a fan of comedians, let's click my knuckles, then this is a show for you to watch on Dave, which has been going on for 9 series, which is pretty impressive. Thanks, Anon. I hope that answers your question about chocolate. Sibo wants attention now. Hi. Hello. How's your marathon running training coming along? She's running a marathon next year. I don't know why I'm shouting like that. She can't hear me. I'd have to shout really loud because she lives in the next town. So let's see. Next question from Anon, 20 days ago. If you had to swap lives with somebody famous, who would you choose? I would choose... Okay, this is interesting because is it a case of swapping bodies and doing a body swap? Like or there's classic sci-fi shows, like that episode of Power Rangers where Bulk and Skull swap bodies with Billy and Kimberly for like a day. No, they were swapping bodies with each other. That's what happened. Anyway, if it's like that, then I would like to be Chris Hemsworth or Hugh Jackman. I would like to swap their bodies in my mind in their bodies because they've got fit as fuck bodies. I'm going to do heavy lifting and I get all the attention. But if it's like a case of actually spending a day with somebody else's life, that is a question. I think that... I think for that, I would like to spend it with... That's a good question, because my immediate mind goes to celebrities of the movie world. But I don't know. At the top of my head, I would probably go with... Okay, let's go with Chris Evans. Why not? Radio show, because it'd be nice to be on the radio and that kind of stuff. Even though I know lots of people who are on the radio much more than I am, including Andy Harland. He does a great job on Riverside Radio. So yeah, Chris Hemsworth for the body, or Hugh Jackman for the body, and Chris Evans for the radio show. No, Chris Evans. I don't want to just be on the radio. I want to be like on TV. Who was I listening to? David Tennant. There you go. That's good, because he does all sorts of stuff, and David's a very nice chap, and I think I could juggle his life quite easily. There you go. There are my answers. So let's see what's next. Reynard City. Rob Turner. He asked the question 2 days ago: who would win a fight? Who would win in a fight? A Scotch egg or a Cornish pasty? Well, the answer is Cornish pasty, because there's more to a Cornish pasty. There's just physically more. It's got more ingredients, it's denser, it's harder. Whilst a Scotch egg is just, whilst it is a good solid lump, I think the sheer size of it, just the pasty mashing on top of the egg, would ultimately destroy it. That's my viewpoint on that. And comments or reaction are hidden. Okay, this is weird. Facebook, what are you doing? You're telling me that it's hidden, so I have to keep checking every so often? This is weird. This is very, very weird. Okay. So I know that PDT and Vivian are watching me on Facebook, which is very, very nice of you. Thank you very much. Okay, next question. Anon asks, 1 day ago, will you be getting a new Crash Team Racing game? Probably at some point, but I'm not going to get it immediately. If it was on sale, I probably would buy it. I never played Crash Team Racing. It was one of those games that just passed me by. I was always into Mario Kart, obviously. I was even into this this really obscure SNES karting game called like Street Racer or something like that, where you were just racing around in like all these different characters, which included a sumo wrestler. I forget the name of it. And it's always funny because when I first came out, I must have been like 10, 12 years old, and I was very young. And I was so excited to get the game, and I was like saying, I'm so really excited to get the game. I'd sell my soul for that game. And my brother got really angry at me, and he said, no, don't you ever say that you'll sell your soul. No. And I always found that very strange, that my brother would pick up on me and telling me that I would sell my soul for a video game. Very strange. Let's see. PDC says, sorry, but if I see a Scotch egg and a Cornish pasty eyeballing each other, who's going to win the fight would be the least of my question. All right, people in the chat, here's a good question for you. Which do you prefer? Cornish pasty or Scotch egg? In the chat, comments down below. Which is your favorite? Go. I mean, comments down below doesn't quite work out because I'll have to read it in the future. But I'll be interesting. It's like a very makeshift survey or a poll live on the internet and afterwards on the internet. But Tom Mayhew says pasty. PDT says pasty by default, but Cornish pasties are often pretty grim too. It really depends on who makes it, really, and what the quality is like. But I agree with that. I got some love on Facebook, which is nice. I'm just gonna laugh just to see what that's like. So there you go, pasty. And again, this shows us all that pasties would win over a Scotch egg. So yeah, Crash Team Racing, I would like to try it at some point, but I don't want to pay full price for it, especially when it's like 40 quid and then beyond if you want the nitro bags. But if it goes on sale in like, what, 2-3 years time, then I might pick it up. Wait, it's only 30 quid? Well, of course it'll be only 30 quid because it's like an old game that's been ported. I might pick it up. I know I asked one day ago, how much for a piece of nipple? Now, how big of a piece are we talking? I mean, are we talking about... I'm not going to show you my nipple because it's too high for a start. The camera's too high up. Okay, so if we're talking like... you can't have my nipple because they're priceless. You couldn't afford my nipples. I would say... Oh, God, this is an interesting question. Tuppence. I think that's a fair enough answer. I hope that answers your question. Anon asks one day ago, would you print a run of Burping My Anus t-shirts? Sure, why not? I mean, Burping My Anus is a catchphrase that hasn't really taken off, I don't think. I don't think it's taken off at all. But, you know, if I keep saying burping my anus a few times, and if I got lots of people in the chat saying burping my anus, and sorry, still trying to figure out Facebook. And if people have a demand for a t-shirt saying burping my anus, then sure, why not? I will do that kind of stuff. I need to come up with... does it need to be that complicated? Can it just be simple text, or... can it be fancy? I don't know. I'll look into it. I will look into it. Anus in my burp! Are you going to print one for me in white? Could do. Yeah, definitely could do. I'll come up with a range of colours. So, perhaps is the answer to that question. Watch this space. None asks, 22 hours ago, are you going to cut back on chocolate eating? Yes. Yes, I will be cutting back on my chocolate consumption because I have to. Not because I want to, but because I have to. I have to look after my health. And if I want big rippling muscles to the level of, say, Bane, then I'm not going to be able to achieve that through bulking on green and brown chocolates. I can't do that. So yes, I'll have to cut back, and there's always this health kind of stuff. But I don't want to. I don't want to at all. Here's the thing, right? I always find it interesting. Some men are really attracted to the old strongman look and like big rippling muscles and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I would like to have that body, but it's not a body that women want to look at in terms of their partner and to have themselves, obviously. But why do men want to grow big, gigantic muscles when it's not sexually attractive to the opposite sex? Generally speaking. I mean, I know there will always be exceptions. Effing hell, Bane is this person you go for aspirations. Well, Bane's an obvious one because he's a very understandable reference. Everybody knows what Bane looks like. It's Tom Hardy, who's really muscular, or in Batman comics. I could say Thor Bjornsson, who is the Mountain in Game of Thrones and is multiple world's strongest man from Iceland. I could refer to him. I could also refer to... who's the other guy I was thinking of? Eddie... There's a world's strongest man in the UK called Eddie something or other. I follow him and I forget what he looks like. But yeah, we could have just said Thor as long as we ignore Endgame. Well, yeah, I could have said Thor, but Thor is not quite the same body. that's the point. I want to go big, and then that is the thing. But that looks not attractive, really. So why do men strive to get that? I don't know. It's a very interesting question. Bane is quite obscure in this scheme of things. Oh yeah, Fat Thor, that's what you're thinking of, as well as Thin Thor. Okay, that's what you meant by in-game. I misread. Anyway, yes. Yeah, I could have gone for the Incredible Hulk as well, but I don't know. I guess I like Bane the most out of a lot of them, although I do kind of like Hulk. I just genuinely like big muscular people. And that's why I identify with the most, even though I'm not big and muscular. But back to the question, I will be cutting back on chocolate because I have to. Anon asked 23 hours ago, are you going to trim your armpits tonight? No, I'm not going to trim my armpits tonight. They're fine, although I might give them a bit of trim later on. This is the thing. I recently got some new beard trimmers. Hair trimmers and beard trimmers about a month ago because my previous ones just died. And we were just showing me my beard, my head and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh, my armpit hair is quite long. And just put a beard on it and go up, down like that. And just to reduce the length of the hair. And interestingly enough, it makes my sweaty armpits smell less offensive. The smell is not as strong. So, yeah, maybe I would like to. But the thing is, I'm a hairy man. I am a very hairy man, and I have to make sure that my hair length is, reasonable. A reasonable length. I don't want it to be like completely too short, while the rest of my body is long. I don't want it to be hairless, whilst my chest hair is long and proud. It's all about getting the right balance, and that this is an actual concern that keeps me awake at night sometimes. Yes, good point. Trim my armpits. I mean, like armpits, hairs. Thank you for the correction. It's actually like you're listening to me. This is great. Thank you so much for listening to me. So I'm not going to do it tonight, but I will trim my armpit hairs in the future. What's your favourite game so far? My favourite game so far, top of my head, is still Dragon Ball FighterZ on the PS4. I still find that game really fun, followed closely by Resident Evil 2, the remake. That's a really fun game, and I've been meaning to get back into it. But those are the two games that come to my mind right now. But it will likely change in the future. Thank you, Anon, who asked me 22 hours ago. Anon asked 22 hours ago, favourite colour combination? That's an interesting question. Well, it's not lime and black, that's for sure. Although this lime effect I'm hoping will be coming up. By the way, if anybody's happened to be downloading this video, taking screenshots of me at any time, feel free to superimpose any suggestive pictures in the background with some chroma effect. In fact, let me help you out. Let me help you out a little bit there. Hang on, so I've got the camera there. So... Or what else can we do? Yeah. Or let's see, what else can we do? There you are. Perfect material for you to work with. Go nuts. Where was I? Where was I before I interrupted myself? Combination. Well, it's getting pretty hot in here. I like the color purple. I think that's my favorite, one of my favorite colors. Purple. So I'm gonna go with red and yellow. I think red and yellow is a good combination. It's not my favorite colors, but it's a good combination that I like. Partly because I'm taking a look at the picture over there, which is red and yellow, and it's a nice combination. PDT says it's quite bold of you to say you're hairy. There's no fun photoshopping 5 men ejaculating in your mouth if you're actually encouraging it. Yeah, well, that's how you defeat this kind of stuff, by making it not fun. Open the door. I'm not washing dishes anymore. Open the door. I'm not doing dishes anymore. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Is that how the song goes? Okay, let's see. So yeah, red and yellow. And on asked 22 hours ago, do you prefer musical, instrumental music or lyrical? Easy. Instrumental. I love instrumental songs because you hear the rawness of the song and you hear the emotions of the song itself. And lyrics for me, whilst they can be good, and some songs are really good with lyrics, they can get in the way from the purity of the song, or the purity of the instruments. Like, for example, Mick Gordon's stuff from the Doom soundtrack, the Killer Instinct soundtrack, it's all virtually all instrumental, and I love that. And I would always like the idea of taking a song that I like and just stripping out the lyrics and just listening to the music as it is. So for me, instrumental, if possible, all the way. Okay, thanks for that. And I asked 22 hours ago, which season do you prefer? I prefer pepper. No, sorry, oregano. There you go, it's a season. That's a terrible answer. Honest answer is it's summer and winter. Those are my favorite seasons. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with summer, as long as it's extremely hot summer, because I love the heat. I love extreme weather. And it's more reliable to get a hot summer with the hot sun than it is to get snowy, cold winters, at least suddenly in the UK. So if I had to pick one, summer. Okay, so this is the one I'm a little bit confused about, because it says here, if you had a warning label WAG. Oh, if you had a warning label WAG, would it be? I think he was trying to say, and almost trying to say 22 hours ago, if you had a warning label, what would it be? My warning label would be, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, people in the chat? What would my warning label be? It's a very interesting question. I would take any and all suggestions. I think for me, it would be something like what's some warning labels? Always bend your knees when lifting, something like that. No, something like that. Good question. My warning label, if I had to design a warning label, it's not about me personally. It could be anything. It could be any other warning label. So what about double check your work? No, that's terrible. God, this is really hard. This is much harder than I thought it was going to be. How about, for me personally, it's fragile. There you go. That's not a very good way of answering the question. I'll have to think about that. No, that's 22 hours ago. Which one do you like better, being a passenger or a driver? I don't mind either way. I'm happy to be a passenger, and the rule for me about that is I trust the driver 100%, and I'm not a backseat driver at all, which is good in a way because it makes me feel a lot more relaxed when I am a passenger of a driver. And the responsibility is all on them. Having said that, I think I am a driver. I like to drive. I like to be a driver. I'm not passionate about driving, and this is not an excuse for me to get a car, because I don't need a car right now. I'm perfectly okay with walking around. If anything, I need a bicycle, but I don't need a car yet, darling. But yeah, I'm happy to be a driver. I quite like driving around, but not in a speed racer kind of way, just like a casual, get it from A to B. Let's see. Okay, so Anon asked 21 hours ago, did you ever fix your PlayStation 3 HDMI? No, I never did. After 2 attempts, I had 2 videos trying to fix this. One is through up to one video before was on version 4.83, and the second one was when it was 4.84 in terms of firmware updates. Neither of them fixed the problem, and I never got it working. In the end, I decided to sell my old PlayStation 3, my faulty PlayStation 3, through eBay, and I got some money out of it, which went towards recuperating the costs for buying a replacement PlayStation 3 Slim. And don't give me those puppy dog eyes. V, don't give me those puppy dog eyes. It's not going to change your mind. Favorite Let's Play you have done so far? Asks Anon 5 hours ago. Let's see, favorite. So what's it done? I've done Braid. I've done. That's actually a very good question. I'm just gonna take a look in the chat rather than trying to get from memory. No, don't give me those tearful eyes. I'm not buying a car yet. No dog faces. Actually, I want to know. Let's see. So it wasn't Super Seducer. It wasn't Catherine. I mean, that was pretty good. It was Monster Hunter was pretty cool. Braid was pretty stressful. I would say that my favorite one were the ones where that's just one-off. Like the game called One Night at the Office, that spooky horror game where you're going around in an office and you're being followed by this ghost woman in old Victorian styles in all black. That was quite cool. I never completed that game and I really want to. And yeah, I would like to go back and play that game again. Wavy says, ugly mug, aren't you? Why are you talking to yourself? Because it makes me feel good. I mean, why would you have all these thoughts inside your mind just brewing and then, you know, just like making you feel ill when you could just say it out loud, make it real. It's like a good way of venting and decluttering your mind. I mean, the next step would be just to write these ideas down, but I don't have a pen and paper at hand. But thanks for the comment, Wavy. Where was I before I interrupted myself? Okay. I think that... Well, thank you for your comment. And then the last question for today in Curious Cat is, the biggest thing has been up your bum. Huh. My finger, I think. Yeah, let me just think about that for a second. The doctor's finger going up my bum. That's probably the biggest thing that's been up my bum. I'm not anything bigger than that. Thanks, Anon. I hope that answers your question. And that is... Let's just do one quick refresh just to make sure I've got all the questions done. Yes, that is the lot.